Chris Mannix from Yahoo Sports. The website is The Vertical. Check it out at yahoo.com/Woj, The Vertical. Chris Mannix joins us now. Give me the deal that almost happened, Chris, that would have captured my imagination.
Well, Dan, I think Sacramento was aggressive in their pursuit of Pau Gasol. For whatever reason, the Kings believe that it's important to get into the playoffs, to have some momentum going to the new building next year. I think it was a little short-sighted. I mean, what is the right to get annihilated by Golden State in 4 games really worth? But we're aggressive in their pursuit of Pau. Ultimately, they weren't able to put a package together to get him, but that would have been interesting because Pau had no interest in going to play for Sacramento, and they would have given up real assets to get him.
Why is Dwight Howard still in Houston?
This might be a problem for the Rockets. The Rockets, put it out there. They wanted a first-round pick. They wanted a young player in exchange for Dwight Howard, and teams that may even pursue Dwight in free agency thought that was too rich a price to pay for Dwight as a potential rental. I think the Rockets might have made a mistake there. I mean, I'm not sure that Dwight's at all interested in going back to play for the Rockets next year. I mean, he and James Harden, they just don't get along, and they're just not cohesive on the floor. So I think that Dwight is maybe more likely than not to move on somewhere else, and the Rockets might have only gotten him for 2 more months and will be left with nothing in return.
I didn't think Cleveland was going to make a major move here, certainly one involving Kevin Love, but is Channing Frye enough that all of a sudden we look at Cleveland any differently?
He helps them a little, Dan. He's a floor spacer. He's better than the guy that was only averaging, 5 points with the Magic. I think he has more left in the tank.
What exactly is a floor spacer? That doesn't sound like a compliment.
No, it's a high compliment. I mean, he's a 6'10" shooting big. And you can put him in at power forward, and you've got to defend him out to the three-point line. He's going to open up a lot of room for LeBron to go to the basket, for Kyrie Irving to go to the basket. It's a good pickup. I just don't know if it's exactly what they needed. I mean, they were aggressively looking for a defensive-minded swing player to help them defend some of the pick-and-roll action that Golden State does. They didn't get that player. They did get Frye, and he'll be in the rotation, but I don't know if he's the exact guy they wanted. Is
LeBron involved in all of these moves?
Do they have a 3-way text chain with David Griffin, LeBron, and whatever GM they're talking to? Probably not. But I think LeBron and his team have made it well aware of what they need over the course of the last week or so, and it's pretty clear. I mean, LeBron over the All-Star break was pretty emphatic that Kevin Love was not going to be traded. Everything I was told, in the last 24, 48 hours was that Kevin was not on the table. So I'm sure he's involved in some way, just maybe not specific.
Well, they're too far down the rabbit hole. You can't say, well, we sort of talked to LeBron about certain things, but not other things. I would think you would want to, if you're in business with him, then you're all the way in business. I don't think you're halfway. You're not sort of half pregnant here.
Yeah, look, they have no choice but to be in quote business with LeBron because he keeps signing these short contracts. And even though he would take the mother of all PR hits if he decides to leave Cleveland, that still is the stick that he carries around with him in his back pocket. So as long as he keeps signing these 1-year deals, +1 with an option, he is going to have enormous influence within that organization. I mean, you talk to people that have been there for a long time. I mean, LeBron is more influential now than he ever was during that first time around in Cleveland. If you recall, that's exactly what Dan Gilbert swore wasn't going to happen.
We're talking to Chris Mannix from Yahoo Sports. The site is The Vertical, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Are the Bulls still relevant?
In terms of the playoffs, no. Are they, on a downward spiral? No to that as well. Their backcourt is still really good and still young enough that they can turn things around with a couple of signings, but they do need an overhaul. I mean, Joakim Noah is going to be a free agent at the end of the year. He's probably going to be gone. Pau Gasol has put out indications. See, Pau Gasol was putting out these things over the last week or so that saying he would like to re-sign with Chicago. I'm not convinced he wasn't just doing that and saying that just to avoid the possibility of going to Sacramento. So they're going to have to deal with him at some point. But they need to retool their front court because Fred Hoiberg needs guys, I think, that run the floor a little bit better. who are more equipped to play up-tempo. They've got to build a roster next year that's better equipped to play Fred Hoiberg's style of offense.
Thanks for joining us, Chris. We appreciate that. We'll join you maybe next year at the trade deadline when we talk about more deals that won't happen.
That's great. A good year away. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be ready. I'll bring my A game.
And you're lucky, I guess, that Ricky Rubio didn't get dealt to the Milwaukee Bucks. Your boyfriend is still in Minnesota.
You know, that's twice in 2 days. Like, you trashed me when Woj was on the air yesterday. You said I hog airtime, and
he
now
agreed.
You're ripping Ricky Rubio. That's not a way to build a friendship here, Dan.
But he did agree. Your boss agreed that you hog the airtime.
Well, I was hired for that express purpose to, consume airtime like oxygen, and I think I did that yesterday between 3 Eastern and 4:30.
I think the website's going to be called Woj and the Air Hog, I think is what it's going to be called.
See, this is not building on our once strong relationship, Dan. I feel like we're estranged.
I think, first of all, Spain is stacked. I mean,
wow, Seton with a shot at Mannix there.
Yeah, tough guy Seton, who left the swimsuit party at about 8:30, is throwing shots.
Well, you both left empty-handed, no matter when you left. So what's it matter, Chris?
That's true. That's true. We both did, unfortunately.
Thanks for joining us, Chris.
All right, Dan.
That's Chris Mannix from Yahoo Sports.